Good morning, Fort Wealthy Word. How y'all doing? Hey, we back for round two. We can't get enough of this good stuff that we're having. Today is our fourth Saturday of the month. We're at Streetside Classic. We have the Classic Caffeine and Community. And today in the community, we have the Wright cause with the Wright family. I want to thank them for coming out this morning. We're going to discuss some issues that we're having in the community. We're going to discuss their organization. We're going to discuss what last week, the Day of Empathy, big turnout there over in Como Community Center. And we're just going to dive into what they're doing in our community and how their organization can make our community better. Before we get started, I want to thank our sponsors. You can go to our website, tftcommunity.org, and see all the sponsors that we have, especially for the ones that's in our automotive program. I want to say a special thank you. Y'all know we have the car show coming up next week, March 29th. We have Mr. Shorty coming out. We have the mayor coming out. We have our new Fort Worth ISD superintendent coming out. We'll have a great time. The youth are revealing the truck. They are hammering down, trying to get this truck completed. Hey, will it turn out? What will we do? Or will we have the true reveal in May when we have our spring car show here at Streetside Classic? Only time will tell, but get ready. We're going to have fun regardless. We're going to be at Billy Bob's in the stockyard, so come on out and just come have some fun. Bring the kids. Let's love on the kids. Bring them out. We're going to have a bounce house, all that good stuff. So just bring them on out. But let's dive into the Wright cause with the Wright family. Thank you guys for coming out, today. I know y'all was busy this morning, had some other things going on. But go ahead and introduce yourself for our audience and tell us about the Wright cause.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm Sade Wright. I'm the co-founder and chief people and operations officer for the Wright Cause Urban Youth Conservation.
And I'm Sean Wright, co-founder, director of the Wright Cause Urban Youth Conservation.
So go ahead. So our organization, we have four major initiatives. Our major initiative is Resilience Rising, where we provide transitional housing for individuals in marginalized and vulnerable populations whom HIV impacts. So we serve, for example, individuals coming out of foster care, individuals coming out of incarceration. Black women have the highest transmission rates of HIV right now. And then youth need our help the most. And then we have a lot of folks coming from incarceration. So our goal with that program is to erase stigma and help end the HIV epidemic. If you're not living with HIV, we want to keep it that way. And if you are, we want to make sure you have the resources and access to treatment that you need. And then we have Empower for Life. That's our education and training. Anything that is necessary, especially to train for our youth. Hygiene, gang exit strategy, resume writing, interviewing skills, financial literacy, sexual education, any and everything that our community needs. We can train. If we can't do it, we'll have another resource for you to do it. And then we have our 1 hour infinite impact, where we teach the community, especially our young people, how to give back with 1 hour of service. So most weeks we go out to a certain part of the community and do 1 hour. We clean up something, paint something, do something for someone or organization for 1 hour to teach that giving back doesn't take too long and it doesn't take a whole lot of effort. And the way that it makes you feel makes you want to do more of it. So teaching how to give back. And then we do advocacy and restorative practices. So we advocate for individuals incarcerated as youth, and we teach the communities nationwide how to advocate for self, others, and causes using AI. So teaching people to trust AI enough to give it limited information and showing there's an instant impact when you use AI to give you the information that you need. And once you train it, it knows you. And it can help you talk in your tone and words that you use to get things done. So just teaching AI. And then in restorative practices, you think about an individual that may have caused harm to someone else. Well, if you go to jail for it or you go to court for it, they ban you from communicating. So that causes, you can't resolve the issue because you can't talk to each other. Well, we bridge those gaps. So if there's someone that you may have caused harm to, and you want to reach out to their family or reach out to that individual, we do that. We connect. We provide resources to any family or victims, and then we try to help bridge the gap. And we've had a huge success rate. Most of the individuals that we reached out to, as far as families of those who of the ones who have harm caused, are usually willing to talk to the person that caused the harm. So the court system tells you can't talk, you're banned, you can't, you'll go to jail if you do. But we're the middle people who bridge those gaps. So that's what we do in a nutshell.
That's a big nutshell. Everybody out here who say that TFT does a lot, we ain't even scratching the surface. See what I'm saying? Y'all see that we ain't scratching the surface. The right cause is what's doing work out here, right? And that's what we have to do. We got to step up and come alongside to got to fit in where we can and help out where we can. I'm going to start from the bottom, somewhat the bottom, because I kind of, as y'all know, when she mentioned the AI, I kind of chuckled with that. My team, I'm not a technical person. My team, some of my team members here, they kind of hackle me about, you need to learn this stuff. Right. I've come a long way. But tell us more about learning this AI, getting them to know, because you mentioned them AI knowing you. Right. And it's able. Can you, for a dinosaur like myself, who's pen and paper, how do we do it?
So how do we do it? For example, if I type something in Chat GPT, the same message, that if Sean typed the same message, it'll give a totally different response, because I pour more information into it. Mm-hmm. The more you give it, the more it'll give you. Okay. One of the things that especially marginalized communities are not trusting of that sort of technology, because they hear don't put your information in there, don't. So when we do our trainings, we teach the community, especially the youth, that you don't give it your social security number. You don't give it. Right, sometimes you don't even have to use a full name. You can say, I'm writing a letter to Z. And then once you get it to spit out what you're doing, you can put in the real name.
This thing knows so much. That's the scary part. I'm an untrustworthy person. You have to gain my trust.
Right.
And then you're looking at a computer or a phone, whatever it's attached to, I guess, and you see that it has this capability. That's a little scary.
And that's what scares people. So teaching people to give it only what you need to, only what's necessary to help you out, and then watching the instant impact. The last time we did this training was in Minneapolis in October. And teaching the North Minneapolis community, you hear the oohs and the ahs. Yeah. Once I teach you to give it limited information, and it's going to spit. I taught the community that day how to write support letters. So, whatever the issue was, or we also had 2 individuals that we advocate for who are incarcerated as youth. So some of the people that attended were supporters of one or both of the individuals. So they wrote support letters for them, and then other people wrote support letters for whatever they're looking to get advocated or help. So we taught them how to write the letters, and then when everyone's hitting send, everyone's, I can't believe it did that. So they are learning to use it more. You have to make sure that you don't give it too much, but give it enough to actually let it help you.
Mr. Sean, can I sign up? You gonna teach me something, man?
Listen, I'm just like you. My technical experience is limited, but I'm learning. I'm a process, everyday process, right?
Yes, sir.
And so what I learned through it is it's really about the prompts.
Okay.
If you know the prompts and you know how to command it, then you will get a better response. And the more information the AI knows about you or what you're trying to do, say, for instance, if I don't add the right cause's mission statement inside of there, then they don't know how to craft certain statements, whether you're asking from a funder's point of view or from another point of view. It just makes sense if you know how to command the prompts.
Okay. And I know, because the last time you was here, I had Mr. Jim Austin online. So, I'm online, but Mr. Austin was here. He's one of our mentors. And, we up early in the morning. So I'm going to have to start, bugging on you to get me on this AI lick, And so I'm going to need that. I got to step my game.
I got you. We here to help, and it's anybody, just as any of our community members, leaders, we want to help and be in community with each other. We have to pour into each other, because that's a big opportunity. Like if I'm calling you and we can't sit in and collaborate, that's the biggest thing. We got to be out arm in arm, because our community needs more help than I can give them.
Exactly.
The right cause is only limited. We only,
no,
so
y'all are doing great stuff though.
Well, thank you.
Y'all are doing great stuff. These kids that are incarcerated, like the Day of Empathy last week, we're working with CLC, the York program, and all those good people. What y'all doing is being seen, because that event, it opened a lot of people's eyes to what's going on out here, right? And so we do need to stand arm in arm. We need to support y'all when we can. And so I just want to say personally, thank you for doing it. The incarceration, we all been there. Not we all, I take that back. But that experience, a lot of us have shared that experience. If not personally, somebody in the family.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't think, to be honest, I don't know nobody who has not experienced that. I don't know. That's a different story for another day. But y'all are doing great stories. But you mentioned that mission statement just now. Tell us about that. Tell us, how did y'all come up with the mission statement? How did y'all target? Because you have several things that you're doing.
Right.
How did that mission statement start? How did y'all grow to doing everything that y'all doing?
Initially, our mission statement was unclear for some people. So asking around and talking to people and making it clear, even for me, helping people to remember it. Our mission is to embolden marginalized and vulnerable communities through housing stability, community engagement, education, and advocacy. So it hits on our 4 major initiatives, and then it hits the audience that we are looking. So for us, we wanted to make it very clear on what we're doing, and in our mission statement, you can see exactly what we're doing, and that's for people to understand. Well, what do you do? Well, here's what we do. It's in our mission. Is those are the 4 things that we focus on. And then a lot of people say, well, like, you guys do everything. Or when you think about the needs of our community, we have to be able to. If we can't do it, we have to have another resource. So there's unfortunately not enough organizations out there that can do a little bit of everything. So if we can do it, we have people calling us from around the country, especially now that they know we teach the AI. Can you help me write this letter? Can you help me do this? Yes, sure. Right. And we do it. But even now we offer ID service. So if you're a resident of Texas and you need a birth certificate or social security card, you want to get your driver's license or ID, or even renewals. So we offer that. We want to make sure that you always have proper identification. So we're adding services where, yes, it's a lot of work, but if not us, then who's going to do it? Right. So, we just try to be available for the community. And yes, there's a lot of things, but we need those things.
Because the community needs a lot.
Right.
And, as you said, if y'all not doing it, who will? And a lot of times we do sit back and say, somebody else gonna do it.
Yeah.
It's the give me. I might be incorrect, but it's like the 911 deal, where you see an accident. Oh, I ain't gonna call 911. Someone else gonna do it.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right.
You know what? We just gonna pick this ball up. Don't only do it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? To make the call, make the call. And what we're doing, we saying make the call to help our community.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
For sure.
You need to go ahead. That is I guess a self deal when we sit back. I haven't always done it. For years, I'm 52 years old, and I have screwed up majority of my life because I was not picking up the ball. I was not making that call.
Right.
But it got to that point in our lives that we say, you know what? We tired of not doing it. So we all call to do it, right or wrong.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? So was there a certain time that y'all said, you know what? This needs to happen. When was that time? When was y'all found out? How did that work?
Just looking at our movement and just our approach to community, people gonna tell you, you know, I suffer from food instabilities, or I don't have housing, or, you know, I may have a job but I don't have a car. You know, it's certain things that people come and they, you know, when we're pouring into them, they're saying, you know what, I got a job, I even got gas money to put in there, but I don't got insurance, or I'm driving and fees. You know, if they catch me in my car, they're gonna take my car because I got toll fees. This is a lot of things that it's not the average conversation when I'm coming and saying, you know, I need services, right? And so our mission only changes because, you know, the climate of the community changes. You know, some days may be better than others. It may be a stimulus package floating around here, but you know, that's not stopping me from helping you. But at right now, the need is different.
It is definitely different, and I can address this to you, Miss Wright. And I don't know if you brought it to Mr. Wright or y'all say we're going to start this nonprofit. How did that work out? Who
so
the light came on somewhere. How did it come on?
So for years, I volunteered. For years, back when I was in grade school, I volunteered teaching youth how to read. And then we always volunteered. And a lot of people used to ask, well, who are you with? And it kind of jokingly, we talked about, and I laughed and said, the right cause. So then in 2012, we got a DBA of the right cause. And we still were kind of volunteering on a more, you know, just for other organizations. I taught resume writing, interviewing skills, anything to help folks get jobs. I went through, you know, mostly focused on employment for individuals impacted by incarceration. So all the reentry organizations know me because that's what I primarily did. Right. And then in 2019, I got a brain injury. I had messed myself up from a fall, and I had to decide at that point, because for me, what I was doing as an HR executive, I was feeling white supremacy, and the things that I was doing as an employer wasn't helping our communities at all, marginalized and vulnerable populations at all. So I had to make a decision when I got to the point where I could function, because I lost a lot of function. What am I going to do? Am I going to spend more of my time helping our community, or am I going to go back to what I'm used to? Corporate life. And I decided that no, every day that I feel well enough, I'm going to help our community. So, you know, it was the same thing for Sean. Everybody needs help, you know. Even with his situation, everybody was like, oh, asking him, well, how do I get a job? How do I do this? So it's like, nope, let's change our focus and focus on community. And for us, it's fulfilling to wake up every day and be able to go and help someone, or, you know, to do something that impacts someone's life. And it's more fulfilling for me to get up and do that, and to teach our daughter to be a giver. You know, she loves to put on her Right Cause shirt, and you ask her, well, what does the Right Cause do? We help people, you know, so she knows it. It's ingrained in her. She's a giver. You know, she's very emotionally intelligent, so she really just loves to help. So, you know, being able to get up every day and help the community, knowing you're doing something good that impacts lives.
And just our slogan in this is, you know, we try our best to outperform the streets. That's what we're here for. That's what the difference is when we talk mentorship. You know, what can I teach a kid that's making $2,500 a day? You know, and like I tell you, you know, that's a conversation for me and him. But I can tell you that I done led, you know, I lead them to the water, you know, and let them drink, you know. So when we talk about outperforming the streets, it's a lot of different dynamics that come into place. But we definitely got to pull together and be able to, you know, rise to the occasion for our youth, you know.
And when you say outperform the streets and that 2,500, that's real. Mm-hmm. I'm letting you know right now. We in middle school.
Yeah.
I got young man coming in with Gucci shoes. Yeah. I ain't talking about knockoffs. I'm not talking about all that. They coming in real. Yeah. And we know the game. We know what they doing out there. So how do you outperform that? I'm sorry. When we was kids, you know, we was making a little money. I was making more money. My mom and my stepdad, my dad, you know. And so the street got me. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? but that's short term.
Yeah.
So we know the long term ride. Yeah. It's gonna be them bars closing behind us. That noise. That I dare say I never hear that again in my life. With me not being able to get out. You know what I'm saying? If I'm going, I'm visiting. Believe that. You know what I'm saying? Believe that. You know, if something otherwise happens, something terribly wrong doesn't happen, right? Yeah. And so it's like this. We have to come together to outperform these streets. There's not one organization out here that can do it. Mm-hmm. Name it.
It's a collective. It's a collaboration. We all can't do it because, you know, at the end of the day, you may meet somebody that may suffer from X, Y, and Z, you know, and you don't have that through your organization. Right. We have to be able to call one another and say, hey, you know, I'm not sending you to a helpline. I'm actually calling somebody. That's what real mentorship is about. Yeah. Real mentorship is going to call somebody because I want for my brother what I want for myself. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So that is the biggest key. You know, we got to be invested. We got to invest our time, our love, you know, everything we got into our kids because they represent us. Exactly. You know, and so when we talk about outperforming the streets, this is something that if you have not been learned, have you haven't been taught by a man how to be a man, then what does the design look like?
They don't know.
What does the outline look like?
They don't know.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of times I was told that before you can be a man, you first got to see a man. Yes, sir. And so let that sink in. And if it hasn't been a man present in your family or in your household, then that mentorship, and that may change your life, having somebody to walk beside you in that aspect.
Yes, sir. All right, that slogan right there, I didn't know that until last year. I met a young man, Mr. Clark. I'm gonna shout out to Mr. Ricky Clark, and he's working with me. He's one of our mentors, and he says that he tells our kids, "What is a man?" You know, and this is something that they have to say a couple times a week when we go into the schools. You know, a man is a male who lives, acts, and live responsibly. Right. And they have to say it verbatim. He wants to say verbatim. Oh, he ain't saying no what is this? He wants it verbatim because that's a true statement. Our young men are not seeing men. Yeah. They seeing imposters. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not gonna lie. When I was out there doing my chest, man, I was a fake little. I called myself a 2-bit hustler. That's all I was. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be honest with you. Right. If you look at, and I learned this through this program with my church. It's called Fortified. Yeah. And I'm actually going to be studying this so I can facilitate it. I want to go teach this. Basically, it shows you a godly man versus a worldly man. Right. And I put it like this, but it's not even close. Right. You dig what I'm saying? It's not even close where you see a godly man and a worldly man. I mean, it's not. If you look at what it takes to be a real man, and you look at what these people and these imposters out here doing, right. It's not even close. So stay tuned on that. It is, it's coming. As you mentioned, Ms. Wright, you want to get up every day and serve. Yeah. But we know that getting up every day, because when you lay it down, you laying down after probably an 18 or 20-hour day. Oh, yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. That's easy, ain't it? Yeah. And people think that's crazy. But when you're doing this type of work and it's in you, it's just another day in the office.
And sometimes when we lay down, we get a call at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. They shooting at this party. Can y'all get us home? I mean, we get up and make it happen. So if we got to get an Uber, we get an Uber. Right. So it doesn't really stop. We can't say we have business hours because people need help all day, every day.
The streets. Right. The streets are 24/7.
Right.
The streets do not stop, and y'all know that it does not stop out there. So let's lend a helping hand. But I know I went down a little rabbit hole. I got a little heat on that area because that outpour on the street, man. The streets are cold. I mean, come on, man. Let's be real with it. The streets are moving. It always seems like they're one step ahead of us, and it's because I picture back then you have to be one step. You try to be one step ahead. Yeah. But eventually it do catches up with you. But right now, it has our kids in a headlock, and it ain't letting go. When our kids go to the stores and they see these wannabe men, these imposters out there, with pockets of money. Hey, let me buy you sodas. Let me buy you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's what they're looking up to, right. And that's what we have to stop. I like what Mr. Q doing over in Community Frontline. We talking about high school. I'm talking about middle school. Man, they targeting elementary.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
See what I'm saying? They are, and Mr. Q is part of the Forward ISD school board. I mean, great job for what you're doing out there. I have so much respect for what you're doing. But they see the target. They say, no, we can't be in high school. Mm-hmm. We can't be in middle school. We need to get these babies when they're in elementary school. Right. That's crazy. Yeah. How do you do that? How do you wake up and knowing that you're going to try to corrupt elementary kids?
I mean, this is community, and I say that loosely just because we have to make sure that we're in a teaching process every day, right? And so when we think about our kids, we need peer services, we need peer support. Mm-hmm. This is somebody that mentorship is like, man, that's next to nothing, because guess what? Your best friends or anybody you're hanging out, you're learning from them, right? Yeah. And so if it's something that you don't understand, you're going to go and trust somebody, right? You're going to trust them with the information. Trust they're giving you the right information versus the wrong information. Mm-hmm. Hey man, our community is only us. When we come out there, this is real time. Right. That's why our kids are getting so much of the negativity. They're getting uploaded telephone. You don't have to ask anybody, right, how does this work or that work. You can Google it and it's gonna come up, graphic or whatever. So what our kids are, they're desensitized at this point. We haven't shown them how to really care about something, and it's rare that somebody come out with those traits,
Well, you know what? I can tell you what, Miss Wright, you mentioned about your daughter, y'all's daughter, right? Yeah. About how she likes putting on her shirt, mm-hmm, saying, we help people. Yeah. I just want to say thank y'all for raising y'all's daughter. Okay. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. I just want to say thank you.
Yeah. Appreciate you, man.
You know what I mean? Because there's people out there that's raising them just the opposite.
Right.
Because guess what? She is going to be one of our future leaders.
Oh, yeah.
And we have Miss Chuan here, and they are future leaders, you know what I'm saying? And so I can see that now. You know what I mean? So thank y'all for being those type of parents. And we need more of those. And I know that with the right cause and y'all mission, that anybody who goes to y'all organization, they're going to be on that path. Yeah, becoming that great parent, to get their self-sustainable, to get them on the track to doing more and better things in the community. But let's move on. We're talking about the baby. We're talking about other things. Let's talk about the community service. We give out scholarships, and one of the hardest things we have to do is our youth to fill out that community service section.
Oh yeah.
You see what I'm saying? They need 20 hours for community service, but it's hard for them to go get that community service hours. What do y'all see when y'all come to youth, or even besides the requirement? And we know about requirement community service.
Right.
We've done that, but when y'all see when people want to do community service, where do y'all go? Where do y'all take them? Tell me about that.
So I like for people to do community service, doing things they actually enjoy doing or want to know more about doing. So I always connect with them and see, like, what are you interested in? And a lot of our, especially young people, want to go out and clean communities. That's fine. I met a young person the other day who is good with tech, wants to help us with our Slack channel for volunteers. Okay, well, he needs his 20 hours. We can get you the 20 hours. So when it comes to individuals wanting to give back or having the required 20 hours, for us, it's not hard to get them the setting to volunteer for those 20 hours. But I like to see what they like to do, because if you're doing something you have no interest in, it's hard for you to enjoy it, and maybe you want to continue beyond that. But there's definitely an opportunity for everyone to help, even if it's the community cleanups, because we go with the group, and those are fun, and you get to see, okay, well, this area may have been a mess and now you cleaned it up. So you think about a clean community as a safe community, and that's what we teach with that.
Okay, I tell you what, because one of my brothers, Mr. Mike, who's here, who's part of our organization, we connected from years of not seeing each other at a litter patrol.
Oh wow!
At a litter patrol, we were over at the community center on the east side community center, and we connected. Don't get me wrong, they do calculate like the tonnage that you collect and all that good trash. They do, do all that, which is a good deal. So I'm thinking, and I thank y'all, because y'all just gave me a clue. So this is what we're doing. We're giving them a scholarship. Hey, go do this. Well, we can simply say, hey, here's some locations y'all can go. What are your interests?
Right.
To help them along.
Right.
Instead of just giving them something. So we're going to make a note of that. We're going to change our process up and try to help these kids so they can start doing more. And maybe our kids get with y'all kids and we collaborate. That's what it's all about, right?
Right.
Exactly. Exactly.
So that's another good thing that we're doing. Now, their empathy, advocating for people that's been in prison, right? That was last week, right. With the York and CLC program. And I guess you're the reentry queen. That would say so everybody know you because of the reentry.
Yes, I have, especially you think about individuals who know somebody who's been incarcerated. I tell people all the time, when I was born, I'm sure I had several family members or family friends incarcerated. So all these years of knowing and being and knowing what it's like and all of those things that come along with being impacted by incarceration, I had a special, place in my heart for people to get jobs. And, I worked for different employers where I broke some barriers and eliminated some old policies that, no one revisited. It's just, nope, we don't hire felons. Nope, we don't hire felons. Well, why not? Well, what would be the harm in that? So navigating through different employers to get them to realize that, Fort Worth, if you don't employ individuals impacted by incarceration, people live, work, and play in Fort Worth. So most crimes are committed out of some sort of desperation. So what do you think people are going to do if we don't give them employment just because of our beliefs or some old policy?
Right. We can't change.
Right. You have to be able to say, here's your chance. Mm-hmm. And I hire people day 2 out of prison. Come on, get a job, and many of the people still are employed at places that I hired them at many years ago. So you can't just make the assumption that everyone who goes to prison is a bad person and they can't change or they did this or did that. So you give people a chance, and majority of the people will do good and take that chance and give someone else a chance. When I teach people how to do resume writing and interviewing skills, and some people are like, well, let me pay you. No, I want you to go and teach someone else because I'm sure you're talking about it everywhere. That's my repayment. Go teach someone else. But when it comes to reentry, like resume writing, interviewing skills, job applications, I do mock interviews, all of those things that help people get equipped to employment.
Well, guys, I do want to thank you. That we always start off with the professional part first, and then we dive into our personal.
Right.
And we got to start. We're at Streetside Classics. Y'all don't know. Every fourth Saturday, we have our classic caffeine and community, right? And so Streetside Classic here on the north side of Fort Worth, we're classic car industry, right?
Right.
So if you have a favorite classic or you see yourself in a favorite classic, what is it? Let's go, Mr. Sean.
I'm going to go to Grand National, 87.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
Not the turbo,
not
the T-type. I'm talking about the Grand National.
Okay, I got you. Right. I know what you're talking about. Right.
I don't have a one favorite, but I do like the older Cadillacs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they have that one old Cadillac sitting right over there. That's got the fifth wheel. You don't see those Cadillacs over there. I think that's like a 30s, 40s. I'm not 100% sure, but that's the old school one. Clean Cadillac. All right, so y'all not doing work. The limited time that y'all not doing work and y'all got the baby with y'all. What are y'all doing? What is the Wright family doing?
We're taking the baby to some activity or something. We try.
We're of the community, man. Yeah. So everything we do is I'm of the community, I'm for the community, and I'm from the community. So everything we do, if it ain't us giving back or trying to build something, a structure to where we can have a different infrastructure for our kids so they can have a success story and they don't have to worry about, drive-bys, crimes. It's the worst thing is for a kid have to raise up and wake up watching their own back.
Exactly.
That's a different kind of, dysfunction.
Right.
To say it lightly. I don't want anybody to think that they're in danger. But when we talk about a child, they should be busy, playing and learning and things, not worried about, paying rent. My mom's getting abused, or am I going to have somewhere to sleep tonight? Do I got clean sheets? Do I even have a bed? You know, a lot of times you may have the box spring and the mattress, but not the frame, you know, or a headboard. A lot of people don't know about headboards. I was so old before I learned about a headboard, you know, so I mean, we could talk and joke about it all day, but it's real, you know. And so it's a lot of people. I'm not taking nothing from nobody. I'm not judging anybody. Please, I tell you this from a place in my heart to where I've been there, and I go through it right now, you know. And one thing that I want to say is that mental health is number one, you know. And so I emphasize this peer-to-peer support, peer specialists. That's something that we all need to get involved with, and we need to have that as a forefront, because that is an effective way of mentorship, and it helps, you know. And we all need to know that we all need a peer, you know.
That's 100%. You know, I know we this is the beginning of us collaborating. We're gonna down in some areas where we can partner up and work together out here in the community. So the Wright family, y'all definitely about the community and live for our community, right? We got Miss Wright here in our Cadillac. We got the Grand National 87.
87.
Yeah, not the turbo, but
not the turbo type. Yeah, like that. I want the Grand National.
Grand National, you know what I mean? So I'm a Mustang guy. Convertible, so I can let my past blow in the wind. You know, all right. That's what I do. You know, so that's if I ain't got it slick down that day. You know, but hey guys, we want to thank the Wright cause, the Wright family for coming out and visiting us. And so I heard you speak about Medea's. So we're going to get over there, Medea's. Our first guest told us about Medea's.
Yeah, we're going to have to check it out.
We're going to definitely do that. Go break bread together. And so, hey, we want to just thank you again. We're here at Streetside Classic for our fourth Saturday of the month. We're here, and we're doing our first annual car show is coming up next week. So please come out and support us. We will be at Billy Bob's, 11 to 4, next Saturday, the 29th. Come out, check out what our kids done with the truck that they've been building, 84 C10. Before I leave, how can people get in contact with y'all? What's the website? What's the phone number?
We're at TWCUYC on Facebook and Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Our phone number is 972-559-9201, or you can email us at info@twcyc.org.
Outstanding. Thank y'all. Again, everyone, thank you guys for taking the time to watch our show, even if it's today or tomorrow or later in the week. Thank you guys for getting this message, right? And hopefully that you'll be able to tag some organization, if it's not ours, somewhere out there where you can do some community service, hug a kid, tell them that you love them, and they're not alone out here in this community. So thank you guys for coming out again.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much. To it. So we'll see y'all back. We'll see y'all next week, but definitely we'll see y'all on the fourth Saturday every month. Streetside Classic, Caffeine Classic, and Community. Y'all have a great rest of your day from Fort Wealthy Worth. We're out of here. Thank you.
Thank you.